Welcome back, everyone, to the world of Faerun. Well, actually, the world of Toril and the continent of Faerun. Well, anyway, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3, the continuation of this fantastic game where we are playing Silver, the goody-goody two-shoes Drow Bard. We have in our party Shadowheart, the half-elf cleric, Gale, the human wizard, and Karlach, the one-horned tiefling barbarian. We also have in our camp some other friends, Will, the now devilish warlock, and Astarion, the vampire spawn, who's also a rogue. But I want to start in the camp today because I want to talk to everybody and see what their feelings are like.
What's the story?
What's the story? Oh, you know. Sounds like we can fix up your engine. What does the infernal engine do to you?
Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close.
Damn, that sucks. You must be, pent up.
I try not to think about it. I still think about it constantly, but, you know, I try. One of these days, I'll sort the whole infernal affair out, get myself cooled off, start making up for lost time. But not today.
Poor thing. Karlach is much too nice for the fate that has been hoisted upon her. What should we do with it?
Damon told us to look out for this stuff, right? Let's go find him.
Easy peasy. That is probably going to be step one of our day today. Sounds like all we need to do is to find some infernal iron.
Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints.
Frosty pints. I know, right? A good frosty pint. Oh, let's see what Shadowheart has to say. Poor Karlach. Speaking of Karlach, just watching her walk around and sort of like play fight and stuff like that. She's adorable. She could also kill me, but you know, adorable. Seems like a nice soul. Just has a horrible fate of being twisted with the schemes and plots of the Nine Hells. Hello, Shadowheart.
Lady of Sorrows, guide us. Did you want something?
Oh, just to talk about the, 7 dialogue options you have that I've been skipping. The artifact seems to be protecting us somehow. Do you still have it?
Quite the understatement, but yes, I have it. And I'll guard it with my life.
Good, good, good. How'd you come by it?
I was part of a group sent by my cloister. We were to take the artifact from the Githyanki and bring it to Baldur's Gate, no matter the cost. Though it turned out the cost was very steep. I was the only one of the group to survive. I took the artifact and fled, only to be ensnared by mind flayers before I could finish the mission. That's all I know. That's all I need to know.
Alright, you know. How can you go to all this trouble and not understand why?
I told you already. I surrendered my memories for the sake of the mission.
For the mission?
Shah's secrets must be protected. Duty demands it. Once I fulfill my mission, I can have my memories restored.
Admiral conviction. Though I think I'd prefer I knew what I was getting myself into.
That's not a luxury open to many people, us included. I have my faith to turn to instead. You should find something of your own.
Well, the faith of my people is slowly destroying them and letting them be destroyed by demons and the like, so, you know, there's that. What do you think of all that's happened to us so far?
We've been through quite a lot, with likely more to come. Care to narrow it down a little?
You must have thoughts. What will you do if we actually manage to remove the tadpoles?
I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course.
No reason for us to not stay together if we get on well.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. If we do survive, we'll have separate lives to return to. I need to get to Baldur's Gate. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible.
Family, friend, lover. Seems personal. I won't pry. It's not something you want to talk about.
Thank you. And you're right. It's a delicate matter. Not something for light conversation.
How am I holding up in your estimations?
Does it even need to be asked? We're beyond me merely liking you. I think I'm a different person, owing to you.
Wow, that was very intimate from Shadowheart. Very interesting. Want to get to know you more.
You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask?
What drew you to Shar worship?
She took me in when no one else would. Without her, I wouldn't be alive. She's my mother. She nurtures me, cares for me, loves me. Don't believe the lies the Selûnites tell.
The things I know about Shar does not necessarily convince me that she loves you, Shadowheart. But, you know, go about your own way. You're an adult. You can make your own choices, your own mistakes, your own victories, achievements, etc. What about you, Astarion?
Need something?
How does someone become a vampire, exactly?
It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. They're obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And a true vampire.
In theory.
People think the biggest threat to a vampire is a cleric with a stake. It's not. The biggest threat to a vampire is another vampire. They're scheming, paranoid, power-hungry beasts.
Sounds familiar.
So why would any vampire give up control over a spawn to create a competitor? Trust me, it doesn't happen.
Astarion is right. A vampire has only one real competition, and that's other vampires. Oh, sure, there's other creatures of the night that a vampire may have to deal with, but primarily who will be found in cities alongside them, hunting the same prey, looking for the same power, traveling in the same circles, but another vampire. A major, major threat to them. Vampires in D&D are somewhat similar to Vampire the Masquerade vampires, but also have a lot more traditional weaknesses from lore, such as running water, invitations, etc. They're very interesting creatures, very hard to kill. Vampire spawn, a lot easier to kill. Vampires themselves, ooh, they are difficult. Hello, Will.
You've got something to say.
Really gave up a lot. How does it feel to be a devil?
It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine.
Got some
I feel
wicked
the
cool
weight of
horns.
these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck. Not to mention a few bumps and prongs in unmentionable places.
Damn.
I haven't seen my reflection just yet. Be my mirror. What do you see?
Freak of nature. Gods, your devil. What a handsome devil, if I do say so.
I can't tell if you're being silly or serious. I'll accept the flattery either way. I suppose I'll grow used to the new me. Horns and all. The people will see a curiosity. Maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters. Keep them safe. And one day they will see the Blade of Frontiers again.
Hell yeah, Will. Keep your chin up. Maybe there's a little bit of pride in there, but I think you have suffered for it sufficiently.
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't
Disgusting.
remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
Would act be finer than saving a life?
Proud. No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade. And so I heeded.
And before that?
Baldur's Gate, born and raised. The only son of a single father. He wanted one life for me. I chose another. We haven't spoken since I left the city. A classic drama. A staunch father and his rebellious son. Better heard from the bard's lips than mine.
Such as moi? You should get out of this pact.
A possibility that's kept me awake countless nights. But I don't have a clue where to start, other than play her games and play by the rules. That's the only language devils listen to.
Ain't that the truth? Can't we just attack her the next time she pops up? There must be some loophole in the contract that lets you out.
There could well be. She has the blighted thing. What I know of it is simply what has engraved itself upon my memory. My contract is very clear. I can bring Mizora no harm. She'll have to let me out of my pact willingly. The only way out is if I can out-bargain her. We're standing here with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the worms in our heads.
We can beat her if we put said worms together.
We can. I'm sure of it. How glad I am that you see me as more than my patron's pet.
You fucked up, Will. You really, really fucked up with that whole pack thing. Maybe you used it for good, but also I'm sure more than just Karlach have been harmed by your actions. Ooh. I'm just gonna rob you, Gale. Hope you don't mind. Oh, I meant to, first off, let's sort all this. And then we go to Shadowheart, have her put on these boots. The speedy boots, you know, that's nice and all, but I'd rather her give temporary hit points every time she heals. That is what I'm looking at, right? Yeah. I don't know who else can really wield this, so I'll just have her hold on to it for now. And then I want Karlach to wear these boots. Yeah, so her jumping speed is better. Yes. Her acrobatics increases, so she could jump a long way. Let's see here. Oh yeah, with her strength high and that ability, she could jump for a while. That's like farther than an NFL player. That's insane. Yeah. Okay, one last person to really talk to, Gale. We've been doing a lot of that today. I was wondering, that condition of yours, why does it require magic?
Think of it as tribute. The kind a king might pay to a more powerful neighbor to avoid invasion. As long as I pay, there will be peace. But should I ever stop, along comes a war. I can assure you, the battlefield would extend well beyond the borders of my body alone.
Magical devastation, perhaps. What do you think of having a vampire in our camp?
We all have our burdens, one way or the other.
That's very forward-thinking of you when it comes to a vampire.
Your enterprising approach to my problem is most encouraging. But it is a delicate process to keep my condition stable. I do not yet need to consume an item, but keep it close by. It will not be too much longer.
Interesting indeed. Well, we've talked to all of our allies, our friends, and perhaps new family someday. Yeah, look, Karlach is talking to herself. I love the idle animations, the sort of sheer personality you can find from these people. It even depends on, like, if it's nighttime or not. And of course, we can come by and talk to Withers anytime. If ever you want a different party member than the origin characters, you of course can. We're not going to end the day just yet. There's more we can do here in camp. Back into the heart of the beast. Have a word around the camp. Actually, you know what? Let's find... Okay, he's pissing over there. That's good. Come on, any second now. There we go. Okay, let us go back to the Emerald Grove. Let's talk to Damon, see if he can do anything for Karlach. Then we'll continue on with the Goblin camp. Is there anything more we could do in the Grove right now? I like how the blood...
Good deal about our condition, Gale.
Everything, really. Not to put too fine a point on it.
A humble specimen, aren't you?
On occasion.
I love Gale. Gale is one of my favorite characters. I think his voice actor... I think all the voice actors did an absolutely amazing job. Amazing job. I mean, they won rewards, or awards, rather, for very good reason. Did fantastic, fantastic job. I really need to talk to him. We can go talk to Zevlor if we really want to.
Hope the goblins aren't smart enough to poison their blades.
Let's see. Ooh. Somebody needs to talk. Gale. Speaking of needing
My
a magical
condition
artifact.
likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon.
Very well. Easy peasy. Give him an artifact, you know. I'm thinking the Speedy Lightfoot. Speedy Reply, perhaps. Yeah, you can have that.
Thank you.
That is odd to see every single time.
Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mistra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent.
What'd you do? What'd you break? What'd you fuck up?
I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am.
Vampire.
What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. Who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mistra.
Ooh.
She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse. And later, even my lover.
What? You made love to a goddess?
Oh, yes. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mistra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross. Yet, every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond.
The
I
powers
sought to
that
cross
be.
her boundaries.
That's... You thought you knew better than Mistra? More a fool than I thought.
Quite. I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. But she only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead.
Oh, this is going to end
Come
well.
now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale?
Oh, no, no, no. Tell me all.
Very well.
I'm a bard.
There
I like a
goes.
good story.
Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He
Fascinating.
almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms. Until the day Mystra returned.
The spell plague.
She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess?
I guess you ruled out flowers and chocolates altogether then.
You know me. My gestures can never be grand enough. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
What did you do?
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
How are you still alive?
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning.
I'd like a clean start, but go with the watch. Too honest to be a mercenary.
This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed.
Or
As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however,
Go on.
I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep.
Oh, goody goody gumdrops. It'll go nuclear. Is there nothing we can do?
We might chance upon a king's collection of magical artifacts around the corner. We might cross paths with a miracle round the bend. Then again, we might not. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways.
Oh, Gale, we've already gone through too much. We've come this far together, and we'll continue on together, and that's how it will be. Also, I can't let a nuke just be walking around Faerun.
That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. He's got the D&D equivalent of a nuke in his chest. But we can't let him just be wandering around Faerun just waiting for it to erupt. The only way he's going to be getting magical artifacts is by sticking with a adventuring party like our own. We'll see. Zevlor, my friend, what's up?
I heard what happened. Thank you for protecting the child.
Of course.
If the druids are this far gone, then it's not just goblins we have to fear.
Oh,
so we
no.
can risk violence here, or face it for certain on the road. Quite the choice, isn't it?
Can you delay the ritual? I'm not here to advise you. Ooh.
It's good of you to offer, but there's a whole army of goblins out there. We'd need an army of our own to escort us safely to Baldur's Gate. And while I don't doubt your abilities, you're no army.
No, I'm not.
There may be a way, though. Goblins are ill-disciplined. It's unlike them to organize so cleverly. Somebody must be leading them, bringing discipline to their ranks. Take out that leadership, and they'll scatter. It's no small thing to ask, but I've seen you fight. You're equal to the task.
That is a big ask. Sure. Kill the Goblin's Horde's leader. Goblin's Horde's leaders. I'll see what I can do.
Everyone in this camp depends on it. Thank you. We'll be ready to leave as soon as you give word.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
No, sir.
Interesting.
Can't wait to get back to the gate. We're exposed now.
What's he doing there?
Don't make me hurt you, boy.
Too late! Looking at you is painful enough.
What the hell's happening over there? We have more important things to do. We can deal with that, but why not leave that for a
How fast
different
is the
save
search?
file? Perhaps another playthrough. I found the infernal iron you mentioned.
Please let this work.
The weight of it. And that blaze of chaos. Can't imagine this where my heart should be. Must be quite the experience. Give me just a moment. And I think... There. You'll have to install it, I'm afraid. I don't think there are thick enough gloves in all the realms to protect from that kind of heat.
That feels... good. I'm still burning hot as hell's hole, but I feel less... changeable. Cheers, mate.
Pleasure. And as for the heat, I haven't got any solutions now, but I'm not giving up. Could be if the combustion chamber had its own insulation, or if we had some kind of enchanted coolant. Find me again in Baldur's Gate. If I'm worth my salt, I'll have figured something out by then. Take care, Karlach. And hopefully the next time I see you, I'll have something promising to report. Pocket any infernal iron you find along the way,
Damon's upgrade didn't cool me down, but it did juice me up. I don't think I've ever felt more powerful.
Let's find some evil for you to smack then.
Bring it on.
Hell yeah. Or hells yeah. Hells yeah.
Why are we slowing down?
I just wanted to talk to you. Speaking of talking,
How can I help?
I was wondering about this mighty lord you told me about in the story.
Ah, yes. Karsus.
I remember.
Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly.
So at that moment in time, all magic was gone?
For a spell, Mistral was reborn as Mistra. Upon her return, the weave returned with her. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go.
Oh, Gale. Seems you have suffered mightily for your folly, however. Seems you have suffered greatly indeed for your folly. What else can we do in this place?
And step, swing, parry, swing. One more time.
What did I tell you about not saying everything?
I already told you I don't have it. How
Yeah, that'll be a little teaser for perhaps another run we do at some point. What else? What else do we want to do today? Let us return back to the goblin camp. Now we have what we need to do, which is to release, or unleash our power against the goblin leaders.
Excuse me. If you have a drawer inside, planning and such.
Good to know you know your place, goblin scum. Oh, I'm mostly kidding. I have nothing against goblins, except of course they seem to be cooking people. Yeah, they seem to be cooking dwarves. That's interesting and all. Hello, large ogre.
No go inside. Inside. Boring.
And yet, that is where I wish to end up. Heavy oak doors.
Bloody racket. Oh, come on now. They're just having a bit of fun.
Oi! Ain't no party in here. We're doing the Absolute's work.
Do you not see what I am?
State your business. Now.
Do you not see what I am?
But you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Do you not see what I am? I've got an audience with the one in charge.
You one of those moonrise types then? Your kind usually don't deal with Boss Ragslin and Priestess Gut. Guessing you're after Minthara. Could be her blood by the looks of you.
Yes, indeed. I've got an audience with Minthara.
Audience is right. She's an uppity one and no mistake, but she knows her business. She's in telling the war chiefs what's what. Next raid's gonna be a big un, I hear.
Ooh, that'll be a
racket.
fun one indeed.
Selena. As if mingling with a horde of goblins wasn't bad enough. Let's do what we have to do, then get out of here.
Not your usual haunt, I take it.
Quite the understatement, but yes. Let's not linger in this place any more than necessary.
That'll be some real fun.
Ooh, a drow who has abandoned Lolth and yet instead of going the right path. Instead, she seems to have found another dark god to listen to.
I only hear her through you, priestess. That's because she chose me. You're not worthy yet. Yeah, and the one thing I learned down there, don't matter if you're a slave or a king, Drow will pluck out your eyes if you look at them wrong.
Drow, pluck out your eyes. That's true. Oh, there's some torture going on back there. Oh, well, doesn't this guy look fun? So much to do here, and some of it we won't do because I'm saving it for perhaps another run. Also because we're goody-goody two-shoes. And also just because it would take 500 million hours for this playthrough to finish. If we did indeed all of it. Hello, Gribbo.
Don't go bothering my pigeon. He's mine.
Yeah, but what if he's disgusting and, does your bird have a name?
Pidge.
Ah, good name. Do you have plans for him?
Keep him safe. Listen to him coo. Till I gets hungry or some such. What's it to ya?
Kind of want him. Just admiring him. I'd like one of my own.
Then catch one on your own.
But what if...
The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Taking a shine to this one. He looks weak, sick. He won't last long in there. He could die almost immediately. Let's just get every advantage possibly. Haha, nat 20. Nice. Give me that delicious critical success. Ooh, just rub it all over my body. The crit success, the oil, the juice, as it were. Sorry.
Take him for a joke, why don't ya? And don't let the lads snatch him up. No, tell him what they'll do to him. Bring him back when he's all tuckered out.
Of course, of course.
Here's the key. Pigeon's all yours.
Of course, of course. Step outside, please, if you would be so kind. Close the door. Okay, Karlach, slam it back open. Hello, Volo.
Look at this. I'm quite saved.
Of course.
A joy to see a familiar face in such a precarious setting.
Precarious
I guarantee
indeed.
the story of your daring rescue of my person will live on for eons.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Remember my name when you're crediting the story's author. It's Silver.
That will sound ridiculous. But fine, if you insist. As much as it pains me to cede creative control.
Exactly, creative control.
Once I've written you into one of my books, there won't be a tavern in Faerun you can enter without receiving a hero's welcome. We mustn't tarry, but I'd hate for our friendship to end here. Please, won't you meet me once we've both slipped the goblin yoke?
Of course, of course. How do you intend to do that exactly?
An invisibility potion, my friend. A bit less refined than your mendacious methods, but by God, it'll do the trick.
Go to my camp. We'll talk there.
Smashing! Soon, my friend. Soon we can share a flagon of something liquid and a tale of daring do. I'll slip away when the coast is clear. See you soon, my friend. I simply can't wait to pick your brain.
Ooh, a sweet potato. I like sweet potatoes. Ooh, we can do so much. Talk to so many people. Do so many things. Skull lantern. Turn that shit on. Noise. Wonder what these people want. Rat. Just a little rat. Alright, so there's a few things we can do here that I don't necessarily want to do. So, like, we can get branded with the Absolute Smart, which can have all kinds of effects later on. We can go and talk to Dror Ragsden, who's back in here and has a dead illithid with him. If we want, we can also go back here and speak to Minthara and do many, many, many things with her. Now, none of that is particularly goody-goody two-shoes, however. So we have one task and one task alone. Unfortunately, it's a bunch of skill checks and the like. Should we do it? We'll do it. We'll talk to at least some of them. We'll talk to Razlin, see what he's up to. And then we'll talk to Menthara, see what she's up to, see what we can do, see if we can escape the, horror of, what is being done here.
Smells like burnt flesh in here.
We want you dead, you dumb knuckle. Not dead any round.
Booter.
Get down there and stop complaining.
Is he dead down there? I don't even know what happened to him. Where'd he go? Oh no, he is dead. He is dead.
Ain't been comfortable since we've been here. I miss the swamp.
Get out, Miss Swamp. Hello? Anything of interest to me and mine?
Sugar na sukok, o tashokek doors. I command you, corpse. Speak. Reveal truth to the absolute. Nothing. Must be reading it wrong. Sugar na sukok.
The hobgoblin turns to you, and the parasite squirms in your skull. You taste the ale on his tongue and the bile in his soul. The visions cloud your inner eye for a brief moment once again. You see the hobgoblin bowing before the armored elf you'd glimpsed before. The elf speaks of the hunt for a great weapon, and the rewards that will go to whoever finds it. The hobgoblin's eyes gleam hungrily.
Another drow true soul. As if there weren't enough of you.
The drow are perhaps favored, my friend.
He doesn't speak his next words, yet they still rattle your skull from within.
You ever talk to a dead squid? Now's your chance.
Can't say I have. Scroll incense. Do you mean to speak with this corpse?
Damn right. I'm gonna make this carcass talk. Absolute says the dead squiddy had a weapon. I reckon the killer nabbed it and scooted off to that looter camp. We find who killed it, and we find who took that weapon. So settle in.
You feel Shadowheart's anxiety. The weapon the Absolute seeks. It's the artifact that she carries. The same one that protected you as you entered the goblin camp. Her mind focuses. Their suspicion cannot be aroused. They cannot discover that the weapon they seek is within their grasp.
I know this magic. Hand me the scroll and I can do the talking. Steady corpse. Was this the mind flayer that tortured you?
This mind flayer's build is smaller, its garb plainer. A fearsome creature even in death, but not the one that tormented you. Yet it too roamed the Nautiloid. It would have seen you, known you.
I know this magic. Hand me the scroll and I can do the talking.
Then take it. Absolute knows I'm not getting anywhere.
You read aloud the words on the scroll.
Ooh.
The hideous corpse rises, tentacles writhing.
Who killed you?
The creature responds, not in words, but memories. You see a clawed hand open a holding pod, devoid of flesh, only darkness.
Damn it. I saw it too, and it tells me nothing.
What were you doing in Faerun?
Again, visions flow through you. A swarm of Githyanki dragon riders, silver blades held high, control panels melting, flesh pods spilled open.
Gith on the hunt. They know something.
Suspicion floods Ragslin's mind. Your brain howls as you consider your final question.
Why were the Gith chasing the ship?
You see dark tunnels lit by noxious pools of brine. The darkness spreads through the earth. The sky splits open and nautiloids pour out of a void that consumes the stars.
What in the...
The corpse collapses, silent once more.
No! We're not done! Riddles, all of it. And nothing to show for the trouble but rotting squid meat. No answers, no killer, and no damned weapon. The damned Drow was right. Can't let her get all of that glory. Seems I ain't done with you. Report to the Drow. Minthara's the name.
Yes, sir.
She's mounting an attack on that blasted grove. Tell her you'll join her.
Consider it done.
Praise the Absolute.
Yes, yes, praise the Absolute and all
Prizes
that.
for guessing what this weapon thereafter really is. The artifact.
Seems no one has anything to say after that particular display. Whew, more evil. There's spiders down there. We'll have to be careful of it. And a scrying orb.
Let's not do anything suspicious while it's watching.
Let's quick save again. As soon as we talk to Minthara, it'll be all over. We will end this episode and move on.
They're prepared to fight for the Absolute.
What they do ain't exactly fighting. All they gotta do is light up a powder and burn.
Then they're prepared to die for the Absolute. Good. Your scouting party has not returned, and half of the intruders escaped your guards.
Sorry, mistress. We mucked up.
Until their sanctuary is found, I will take something precious from you every hour that passes.
Ooh, now
Treat
that's a
it.
drow.
A tongue, a limb.
I ain't no use without my limbs. The lad'll make the prisoner squeal soon enough. I swear.
Silence now, creature, or I will silence you forever.
As she turns to you, her thoughts mingle with yours. A cold hand caressing your brain. The chamber melts away to reveal a dark, endless nowhere. In it, you see a vision. The drow listens as a pale-eyed young woman whispers in her ear. One of those the voice spoke of. One of the chosen. The vision fades away.
A true soul? Praise be, sister. Are you here to join my hunt?
Want a hunt of my own? A hunt. Who's the target?
Worshippers of a false god. Their existence is an insult to the Absolute's claim on this region. There is a weapon the Absolute seeks. I'm sure those wretches have it hidden away there. We will find it amongst the dead and the ashes.
Her excitement is palpable. She lingers on thoughts of victory, of unbelievers' blood spilled, and of the weapon. She will seize it, in the Absolute's name.
The thief, whimpering in our dungeon, tried to flee to their sanctuary. We will continue to remove parts of him until he tells us exactly where it is. He's been resilient, but he'll talk.
She is seeking the grove you visited. Already you feel her mind closing around yours.
Leading her. The tiefling should be warned. Together you can outnumber her warband. Perhaps you can misdirect her.
Speak, true soul. The hunt must begin soon.
I can be very persuasive. I'll visit the prisoner myself.
Excellent. Be sure not to kill him before he talks.
Souls are infected like us.
What are we waiting for?
Why do they think they're talking to a god?
The lads are all riled up and
People
ready.
disapproved of that.
That's how we would
But it
have
was
ended
just
up.
the way to end that conversation. Alright, everyone. Next, we try and find the druid. What other choice do we have? Maybe we'll talk to this guy. Maybe we'll talk. See if we can get the prisoner to speak to us at least. There's rats everywhere. Ooh, screams the damned. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Baldur's Gate 3.